I defy you to sit still through this next segment. At the very least, you're going to want to tap your feet. But when you hear the Soweto Gospel Choir, you might also shake your head in wonder that so much exuberance and joy can come out of a place where people face so much adversity. And as Kirstine Lum discovered, there's an Aussie connection to this musical success story.
Their sound is the sound of South Africa. You see a performance and it's a riot, sound of colour, of dance, of drumming. It's a celebration of life.
They just radiate this energy, this joy. And also, you know, they're not just a choir. They don't just stand there and sing. It's a show. It's something very, very exciting.
The Soweto Gospel Choir have just begun their African Spirit Tour of Australia, being welcomed to country by some locals in Cairns. The group was originally formed by Australians to celebrate the unique and inspirational power of African gospel music.
Australian promoters had come to South Africa to watch a show called Umoja, and they were so impressed with that show that they felt a need to form a choir that would take the South African sound of gospel around the world.
Gathering talent from churches around Soweto, Beverly Breyer, now the executive producer and director, was asked to form the choir in 2002. While she wasn't short of talent, she was short of time, the Australian promoters giving her 2 months to have the group ready for an international tour.
Within a month we had the group of 32 people organised. Within another month of that we had them in the studio recording their first album, Voices from Heaven. And within 3 months of that they were touring Australia and New Zealand to sold-out shows.
No one could expect this. This is a miracle. This was a stupid idea, you know. It was an unrealistic expectation that someone would come and put together a choir which would then become the world's greatest choir within a matter of months. You know, we recorded a month after the choir was formed, and that album, a few months later, went to #1 on the world music chart. That's unreal. It's an unrealistic expectation.
Since their formation, the group has travelled the world and wowed audiences with a mix of traditional and contemporary music that they perform in 6 of South Africa's 11 official languages. Their popularity rewarded through 2 Grammys for Best Traditional World Music Album in 2007 and 2008.
Winning our first Grammy gave us a name, and then second Grammy put us on the world map, and definitely did a lot for our country, did a lot for African music.
It's everything. It's African, it's gospel, it's contemporary, it's world music, but it's got that extraordinary African sound and rhythm, and that all the ingredients go together to create this extraordinary sound.
The energetic and joyful performances reflect the appreciation these young stars have for their success. Soweto Gospel has provided them a very unique and life-changing opportunity.
Most of them came from disadvantaged backgrounds, whereas nowadays obviously they support their families and they have a very sort of good life themselves.
It has been my dream actually to fly overseas, to sing overseas. It's been my prayer since I grew up. It meant a lot when I was chosen, or when they allowed me to be part of the choir.
What makes me most proud is where these kids have come from, and they are kids. These are kids that came to audition not knowing what was going to happen. In fact, one of our choir members was just walking past to buy some milk, and she was dragged into the rehearsal room, had never been overseas, didn't have a job, was in a family that really needed help. Well, 5 years later, she's the breadwinner and has travelled the world and has got this extraordinary career as a leading performing artist. It makes you incredibly proud.
I just graduated from high school, and unfortunately my mom is a single parent, so I couldn't afford money to further my studies. So I heard there were auditions for pop stars. I don't know if you're familiar with pop stars, but it's like an American Idol. So I went for auditions, and because I'm a big girl, I didn't meet the criteria.
Sipokazi Luzipo was rejected from pop stars, but her talent was spotted by Beverly Breyer. She went on to become a founding member of the choir.
I think I'm living my dream, because I've always loved music, but I never knew that I could make a living out of it, earn a salary while still enjoying what I'm doing.
Sipokazi and her fellow performers have not forgotten their humble beginnings.
We as a choir felt that we're blessed to travel the world, and so we felt the need to give back to our community, because back home people are really struggling. So we've opened our own organization called Nkosi's Haven Vukani, and that foundation supports other organizations in South Africa that either receive little or no government funding.
In 2003, the choir formed their own AIDS foundation, and to date have raised over $1 million. Last year alone, the charity fed, clothed and housed over 600 orphans.
This is a charity that the choir formed, that the choir run, that the choir collect at the end of every performance. It's all down to the choir. We facilitate it, but I think it's probably one of the few charities in the world that 100% of the money raised goes to supporting what it's designed to support. There is no administrative cost taken out at all.
And the choir itself, when they're in South Africa, they go to the organizations, they sing for the children, they take part, they'll paint a house, they'll give out food. So it's a very good association between them and their community.
Our country has been through a lot, and out of everything that's happened, I think the Soweto Gospel Choir is one of those beautiful things that has come out of South Africa. So I think we ambassadors, and through dance and song, we try and show the beauty that is in South Africa.
I still am thrilled every time I see them. It's a miracle. It's just the most beautiful experience.